going to say is very complimentary to the ladies, so I'm sure they should be more relaxed. This happened to me just about 4-5 years after marriage. About 4-5 years after marriage, I was in HDFC, I had moved to Hyderabad. Suddenly Deepak Parekh got very liberal and suddenly he hiked the leave travel allowance by which I could fly. So I was looking at the Times of India and there was a monsoon package. And I was reading it in English. My wife doesn't read English. So she came to me and curiously asked, what are you reading? I started explaining to her, saying that there is a package, you fly down to Goa. And then she started prompting me, and then what? I said, well, they will send a car to receive you at the airport and you go to the Siradi, Goa. And then what? I said, there'll be a welcome drink. And then what? I was getting furious, you know. So what is this woman trying to test me out? At the end of it, I said, then what? You'll relax and enjoy. She laughed and she said, can't we do that here? And she said, and she added, you have to take all the trouble to do all this and go to Goa to relax and enjoy. We can be here. I think that's the first time I realized. Then I started going back to books on the brain. And there was something on the left brain, the right brain, thank God. There are no experts here. Then the first time I realized that intuitively what a woman puts her hands on, I mean, is far superior to what you and I can go through the maze of our logic and things. But let me assure you, it took me 10 donkey's years to be beaten down by this lady to acknowledge that women are really superior biological species.
Program committee again. Now here is Mr. Jyoti, the election winner.
No, I just, listening to everybody, I just realized what IIT did to us. Because all these stories about, putting money in the wallet, about squeezing the toothpaste, about the bucket and the mug, and the child reading books. I don't know, I just find that, I do all these things myself. And I think many of us, probably all realize that, we are all doing, putting the money in the wallet. So this is what I think IIT did to us. In Nepal, and I used to see a whole lot of people coming and standing in queue to get into a course and like that. And it never occurred to me that I should also take one course and figure out what it is all about. But in the year 1987, actually Ajit, what he said is not an election for parliament, it was the election for the mayor of Kathmandu, which I lost. So I was at Harvard and I had just come home for the spring break, and somebody talked me into contesting the election for the mayor of Kathmandu, which fortunately I lost. And I should have gone back to Harvard to continue that year, but somehow I just didn't feel in the mood. So that year I stayed back, and all of a sudden when this Vipassana course started, I had a chance to go and sit the course, take the time and sit the course. And I went third one. Then by the time it was third one, they had already said that, I don't think even 2 years, maybe now 6 months or even.
Hello everybody. I hope you're having a good time. We started, to start with, it's basically the job of the association is to help engage alumni to their alma mater. And we started 8 years ago. Our membership was less than 1,000. It's close to 8,000 today. If you look at the demographics, I don't know if the numbers on the map are very clear or not, but basically, our database has 18,000 members in 82 countries and spread over 23 chapters across the globe. Now, a quick look at the kind of engagement and the funds contributed by alumni to IIT Bombay. In the last 3 years, close to 30 crores have been contributed by alumni, 14.6 crores in 2009-2010 alone.
As your friend introduced me, I'm Rajiv Deshpande. I work for IIT Bombay. And I'm here to do many things. First of all, thanks to all of you for coming here. And I know you're going to come to IIT Bombay tomorrow and have a great time. So thanks for coming. I also want to thank the organizers, many of whom I worked with Vijay Naik, Kumar Shah, Pradeep Nadkarni. All of them, I know, have worked pretty hard to put this event together, along with others. So I want to thank them.
You know, of course, the biggest contingent was what others called the Ghatis. But there were subgroups in that. There were the real Ghatis from the Ghats. You know, like Jagdish Datta Late, who sang before, he was from Kharad. Then there were the Pune Ghatis, who thought they were better than the real Ghatis and never realized that Pune was no longer the capital of Maharashtra or India for that matter. Then there were the Bombay Ghatis like me, Ajit Gujar, Vasan Naik, Chandu Bide and all that. We certainly felt that we were superior to the Pune Ghatis. So turning to the program, we have a group of young IITians, 2007-2008 graduates, who have actually become stand-up comedians. And they have a big repertoire. You know, they even do techno comedy. But I asked them what kind of techno comedy, and they said, you know, for example, we take off on the Heisenberg principle, and I said, won't do. And the responses just were crazy. You know, there were some very thoughtful responses, like from Kumar. There were some very glib responses. There were a great number of one-liners from originating, I think, in Delhi, from Alok Suri. And literally there must have been thousands of one-liners, and I never could figure out what he said. I just decided that it must be very profound. Because, you know, if a whole message can be packed in one-liner to Kumar's 3 pages of emails, it has to be profound. And then finally there was Don Mhatre. Dons were sometimes caustic, sometimes kind of jabbing someone, but they always ended with his signature and in large bold letters the following message. Each of his emails ended with this statement: forgiveness is giving up my right to hate you. You know, whenever he was responding to one of my emails, I almost felt like, you know, crying, falling to my knees and saying, please, please forgive me, Don. Give up your right to hate me. But then, you know, after a while I realized that, I mean, he didn't have to forgive me because he never hated me. The man he really hated was Pradeep Nadkarni. Because, you know, Pradeep was coming up with all these proposals, and, you know, at one point he even insisted on a dress code. You know, I'm in grey pants because that was a dress code. Grey pants, and kin kya kya Pradeep? Blazer, not a sports coat. Anyway, so, you know, finally I wrote to Don saying, have you forgiven Pradeep and given up your right to hate him by now? He never responded. So I don't think Pradeep has been forgiven. But, you know, I mean, organizing is never fun. It is mostly a thankless task. And of course, our masterful leader, masterful, handsome, charming, persuasive, persistent, you know, I'll run out of adjectives, the one and only Pradeep